Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. This time you have joined the middle of a camp-off. We have InnerSilence playing in his Tier 8 Soviet heavy tank, who is top tier in this matchup, battling it out against an IS-3, an IS-6 and a Centurion on the enemy team. Already just over 3.5 minutes have elapsed. He's holding his ground against 3 dangerous Tier 8 tanks, and he's already taken quite a pasting. He's managed to ricochet 5 shells, giving him a blocked damage total of 1,500, which is it's not really that impressive considering he is driving the IS-6. What is the IS-6 renowned for? Well, that is very well angled and pretty all-round thick armor, giving this tank an overall protection of about 200 millimeters if you're angling the armor effectively, as we can see with all the ricochets off the front of InnerSilence's tank. However, he can't hang around all day because it looks like his team on the western flank is melting, and so he's decided that he needs to make the attack. He needs to kill these Tier 8 tanks around this corner before the other side melts, and then maybe he can deal with that flank as well. So there's an enemy IS-6 on the enemy team, and one of the weaknesses of these vehicles is that the standard ammunition is 175 millimeters of penetration. However, InnerSilence is firing APCR here, which has got 217 millimeters of penetration. And it's completely the right thing to do when you're engaging the enemy IS-6, because we can see that even the APCR rounds are bouncing off the enemy's very troll armor. Thankfully, his third shot goes right in. But he's managing to bounce the enemy IS-3, who, if he's using the top gun, has 125 or even 126 millimeters of penetration. Wow, that was a lucky shot. InnerSilence slams one. His second hit into the IS-6, taking him down. Now he has to deal with the enemy Centurion on this enemy team. Well, that's one way to deal with a Tier 8 British medium tank. Blowing the head clean off the Centurion, but a new challenger approaches. The IS-3 gives him a good ram, but luckily the IS-6 has got fairly good side armor, and it weighs a ton. It weighs quite a few tons, to be exact. And so that means that he only takes 22 damage from the ram, and he deals 20 damage to the enemy IS-3. He manages to bounce his shell with some well-angled armor, and finds himself in a 1 versus 8 situation. Well, at least momentarily, it was 1 versus 8, as he finishes off the IS-3. Gosh, that artillery is relentless, bombarding him constantly. It's literally constantly. I really would not want to be in InnerSilence's situation here. And that is being forced to try to rush back towards the cap. I don't think he can possibly make it. He's got to make about 700 meters distance to be able to get to the cap circle. And even when he gets there, he's going to have the wrath of 3 artillery on the enemy team. But oh wait, the enemy has made the age-old mistake of don't cap, kill all. And now there are quite a few games where not capping and killing all the enemy tanks will reward you with more credits and more experience. But you're also tempting fate. There's a very skilled player, InnerSilence, on the enemy team in a top-tier troll Soviet heavy tank. He bounces an APCR round from the Sturmmehl on the enemy team. That Tier 7 German tank destroyer isn't doing so well anymore, as he shuts him down. Now there are only 6 tanks on the enemy team, and he bounces a shell from an undisclosed target, probably the WZ-131. And I just noticed the WZ-131 on the enemy team has had a real good game, picking up 7 kills. Looks like that guy has been the terror of the West, and he must be hoping that he can claim InnerSilence's scalp to secure that Radley Walters medal. Over my dead body, thinks InnerSilence. He's gunning for a Top Gun, a monster Kolobanov's medal, and if he also achieves the Kolobanovs, he will also secure a Pools medal as well for those 10 kills. There's the WZ-131, the hero of the enemy team. A big shot goes into him, and the WZ-131 fires heat that gets absorbed by the tracks of InnerSilence. Can he reload in time? Oh, disaster! The shell just whiffs over the head, or the turret even, of the enemy Tier 7 Chinese light tank. But holy moly, how did that shell come in? Oh dear gosh. Artillery landed one right on top of InnerSilence's tank there, doing 518 damage. That's a disastrous result as it shaves off half of his remaining hit points, making this carry all the harder to achieve. Now it feels like he has to be aggressive here. InnerSilence is foregoing the cover of the lighthouse. This hill was the only thing protecting him from the wrath of the artillery. Well, or so we thought, until he took that gigantic shell from the enemy SPG. But he caught the WZ-131 out of position. Fantastic result, denying him the Radley Walters and the pleasure of that 8th kill, and picking up InnerSilence's 5th kill of the game. Now, I like what he's doing here, going backwards and forwards to juke the artillery. Perfect play there, dodging the one in front, and then baiting a reverse shot from behind as well. Great stuff. So what are the threats on the enemy team? Well, the Black Prince was probably the one that's capping. However, it's very likely that either the Black Prince has gone up this way, or he has gone around that way. And it looks like InnerSilence thinks that the enemies have gone this way, or perhaps he's just going to try and go here to get some vision out along here and along here as well. He changed his mind, however. Maybe the KV-85 and the Black Prince have no interest in the cap circle and they just want to kill all. And so he goes after the enemy SPGs. Oh wow, we see where the Black Prince is. He's been spotted. Quickly, think fast, InnerSilence. What do you have to do? Oh, the KV-85 as well is there. He takes a chance to see if he can hit the enemy heavy tank, but he's doing exactly the right thing here, and that's getting into cover. Oh, great result there, finishing off the KV-85 on the enemy team. And I love what he was doing. InnerSilence immediately knew what he had to do, and that was to get in cover from the enemy artillery using this rock. The house might give him even better protection, but why risk it right now? Going out in the open might prove fatal. He puts 1 shot into the Black Prince, 2 shots into the Black Prince. That tier 7 British heavy tank is not faring very well against this 122mm Soviet gun. Can he find the last shot? Oh my word, it flies true, finishing him off, but another big hit from artillery from behind. He had to risk it, I guess. The Black Prince could have reversed behind the slope, and then it would have been all over for InnerSilence. He was in a tricky situation, and he had to kill that Black Prince to remove his vision from the game as quickly as he could. So by going forwards there, although he exposed himself to the artillery, he did what he needed to do. So now, 4,800 damage into the game and 7 kills. Can InnerSilence finish off 3 artillery pieces, who are still trying to hit him, firing all manner of shells? There's the FV304. Oh no, the first snapshot misses. Will he miss? He doesn't miss, but he only does 21 damage to the very thick angled armor of the IS-6 at the front as he finishes off that pesky FV304, that tier 6 British self-propelled gun. He spots the enemy M41 and blind fires at him, but an absolute disaster as the M41 manages to put yet another shell into the IS-6. 115 damage done here. How can InnerSilence get through this situation? He's got to be very careful. He's used up all of his strikes. If he was a cat, he's used up all of his lives, apart from 1. Can he manage to get through this situation? Where's the GW Panther? He knows where the M41 is. He's turning left, he's turning right. There's the GW Panther. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. He snapshots him just before the GW Panther zeroes in a shot. And all he has to do, he's 1 kill away from picking up the Fool's Medal and a 1 versus 8 against this M41. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, disaster. Ouch. That's a pretty brutal heartbreak right there. A cracking shot at the end of the game by this M41, who very cleverly used this bush to conceal his position, enabled him to take out our hero as he snuck his way through that building. So irrelevant of the outcome, this was still a fantastic achievement for you, InnerSilence. You should be proud that you even put yourself in with a chance to be able to get through this 1 versus 8 situation. You could have picked up the Kolobanos medal and the pools, but that was highly, highly unlikely, and you got oh so close. It was such a heartbreak. It was a series of quick reactions, knowing your tank's capabilities and the capabilities of the enemy, being aggressive, and also thinking quick under a huge amount of artillery fire that enabled you to do so. Let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. So a huge amount of credits and experience was gained by InnerSilence here. He also got the Radley Walters medal for his 9th kill, and the high caliber for securing the top damage in the game, which was 5,512. This was 1,832 base experience for a loss. And you thoroughly showed off the armor capabilities of the IS-6, managing to block 4,300 damage this game. And even though you did have to fire a few APCR rounds, you still made 82,000 credits profit. But I'm sure that's not the consolation prize that you were looking for. And I would have loved to see you get through this game with the Kolobanovs in the pools. So InnerSilence, thank you so much for sending me this replay. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was one of the most heart-pumping games I've seen in a while, and an absolute heartbreak. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did, please consider giving this video a like down below. It really helps the channel out. Oh, and by the way, in other news, I've managed to get my hands on this. This is the Skoda T40. It is the brand new Czechoslovakian tank. And this as well, this is the M4A1 Revolorize, which will be the Tier 8 premium French medium tank that'll be coming soon. And if that wasn't enough, also the T-22, which is going to be another Soviet medium tank coming soon, which will be a reward for the Rampage game mode. But I can't say too much about it now. You're going to have to wait for this weekend while I'll be releasing YouTube videos on all of these. But if you want to see them before they get released on YouTube, then you want to come along on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby tonight at 7:30 UK time. That's 8:30 Central European Summer Time. And I'll be showcasing all three of these tanks in a bit of a power hour. So hopefully I get to see as many of you there then as possible. I'll also be taking your questions live about the tanks. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.